Hello everyone, and these are my vintage RCs. Some are mine, some my brother, some used to be my dad's, but now it's all mine. It's all stuff from the 1980s, and 2-channel receiver, old school, with crystal, and this is an electric from the 1980s, from the late 1980s. This used to be my RC car, but it had a different hood ornament on it. It was used to be a Lamborghini, but we're gonna make it into an FT Benito, like my original kit car. But it comes with original dust that is 20 years old, and you see old techniques, old speed controller, homemade back, and it was still connected to this 7.2 volt battery. So the first thing I of course did was disconnect it and cut the wires. Of course I want to have the connector to use later on a different battery maybe. But if you can see, the positive wire is totally green. It's totally burned out. It's so old. And the voltage was 0.0. I measured it, there's nothing there. But also very hard to get a connection. The copper wire was totally wasted. Way too much power went through it. Totally green in and out. So, but it was nice to find it with all this dust, making it look like an old barn find. It's the same with the hood. Still the original dust. Some others I did really clean before bringing them over, just to keep my car clean in the inside, because the dust was really thick. So, this is a gasser. This is my older brother. He has another one, but this is his precious. He doesn't want to give it, but I'm already glad he gave me this one. And a whole bunch of spare parts, new and old and used, but also a few new ones. And I'm glad I got some stuff of my own, and it's really dirty. There's old gasoline inside here, still some blue gooey, but of course it's not so bad as if you check this one out. That is really old and being used. And same with the engine, and the carburetor is stuck. I cleaned it up a little bit, but it's still stuck, and you can see all the grease. But I'm used to doing this. I've got my own kit car that's based on a Beetle chassis from the 1969, and that's an FT Benito. You should check it out. It will be moving up down here. It's really awesome. But I'll show you some of the electrics. It's all rubber receivers and transmitters. And I don't know for sure. I did find a battery pack, and I cleaned it up. I put 4 pen lights in it, and giving 6 volts. I checked it with my meter, so we're gonna hook it up. But the receiver only needs 5 volts. That's why on this one there is a back changing the 7.2 volts to 5 volts before going into the receiver. So I will be checking out if the wires won't be burning. I will check it out before we're gonna restore all of it, because that's what I like to do. I'm gonna take them all apart, clean it all out. I'm maybe leaving the rust on the chassis, because it takes a long time to get this kind of, you know, you don't get this, you cannot paint it, you cannot reply it. It will take another 35 years to get it like this. So, no, I will be leaving that. But for the rest, we're gonna check and go through the electronics and the mechanics and clean it all out. I used to have an ultrasonic cleaning belt, but when you need it, you can't find it, like always. Just too many stuff. And then here we got our precious piece of history. This is the Skylark EH-1, the first electric helicopter in production. And it looks awesome. But also it came with a rubber receiver. And my dad, sadly enough, sold the transmitter. But you can understand, rubber is the same kind of quality as futaba, like this alien technology, and this is worth thousands and thousands of bucks. So I do understand that my dad sold the transmitter, but he promised me to let it fly when I was 16, and the day came that I turned 16, and no way he let me fly. He already sold the transmitter without me telling me. But he was like, it's too expensive, the batteries cost too much, and if you break it, you certainly will crash, and I don't want you to break it. And he didn't let me fly. But last year they moved around out the house, and yeah, I came across it sitting there in the living room, and I was like, hey, that's my helicopter. And I found out they'd written my name on it. So I thought, they didn't forget me after all those years, and it's still mine. That's it. Dave. That's me. So thank you, Dad, but he wasn't there, so I took it in my car, brought it home. The next day I came back to help again, to move, and he was like, hey, did you see the helicopter? I'm like, yeah, but it had my name on it, so it was meant for me, I thought. Thank you very much. And I know, I'm like, yeah, you promised, so now it's my turn. Like, he stopped with the hobby and went into computers. Good choice, of course, but both hobbies were so expensive, he needed to choose one or the other. And all the time I wanted to fly, but I had at least a PC with a simulator, so I could get my echo away, you know. I still could fly somewhat and keep me going. And now it's time there to really finalize my dream and really fly. But not only helicopters, my dream is also to fly airplanes. It's my biggest dream. And my biggest hobbies are cars. Everything with 4 wheels is what I do. That's what I do and drive as my daily job. So I'm really into driving. And flying is a dream. And this year I found out that the electronics isn't that expensive like it used to be. But of course, my dad, he invested in high-end stuff. Rubber wasn't really cheap. But everything that's made in the 1980s lasts a lifetime. Same as the car that I drive is an Audi 80. 5-cylinder, 2.3 liter. Awesome beast. But it's so protected against rust that it survives the test of time. It can get another 50 years. Like the TVs and the fridge, everything they made in the 1980s was made for life. And we'll all do maintenance on it and disassemble it and check every part, open the servos, clean them up, put new oil and grease at the bearings and the gears, and so on. And the same goes for the cars. But this will be all another step, another time, and another day. But thank you for watching this more quick overview. And hopefully you'll be checking the next video about how to gonna revive my vintage cars and make the engine, clean up the carburetor, and tighten up all the wheels, checking everything, and then making it drive. And at the end, making this vintage helicopter fly. That's the biggest dream and a promise that I need to fulfill. Waiting for it like 20 years, but the day will be coming. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you at the next video. Ciao.